Geoff, firstly, thanks very much indeed for speaking with us at the start of what is a very new and exciting chapter for Abercrombie and Kent. Tell me how the company started.
It really started with a dream. We were farmers in Kenya, in Africa, East Africa, and we had farms in the highlands. And independence, really, self-government came to Kenya in 1962, and that's when we were actually going to be told we'd be moved off all of our farms, and we were very depressed. We were taking people as guests and as friends on safari, so I said, why don't we make it into a business? But you've got to have a name for business, and it's difficult. And we came up with the name Abercrombie because it sounded very long and regal, much better than Kent. And AB put us top of the yellow pages.
You were legendary for being very hands-on and getting involved in detail. How often do you travel, and do you have time to do anything else outside of business?
Well, first of all, Abercrombie Kent is a complete passion. I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about what we do. And actually, looking back on the 50 years, we kind of invented experiential travel, which is now what everybody's doing. I do travel a lot, about 250 days a year. I'm very hands-on in everything. I'm sort of a bit of a detail freak, but I always have my name on the door. And I'm always petrified anything's going to go wrong. And to stop that happening, I'm hands-on to make sure that everybody everywhere is performing well. And do I have any other hobbies? I was a big polo player for years. So that was my other passion. When one passion's knocked out, there's just one left, and it's Abercrombie Kent.
You've always operated at the luxury end of the travel market, despite the different economic conditions of the last 50 years. Why is this?
I started Abercrombie Kent in Nairobi, and I used to, the safaris in those days were 30 days. And I took out one very wealthy individual from the United States and had the best 30 days of my life. It was fun, it was lovely, such a gentleman, perfect. So I spent my whole life trying to get, and then I started to collect, really wealthy and wonderful clients, and have stayed in that bracket ever since.
Now the company is starting a new chapter with real estate, but looking back over the last 50 years, what do you regard as the milestones?
When I invented the luxury mobile tent safari, which was actually, it's a long story, but I invented refrigeration, which would go in a big diesel truck, which would travel 30 days through Africa. And I was the first to do that. When I'd done that, that meant I could give fresh food to everyone. So that's when I came up with cut glass, caviar, champagne, because I had the refrigeration system. That was a game changer. First to do small ships in Egypt, on the Nile, first to do that. We are the first to go to China to handle individual groups to China. We were one of the first to explore Antarctica. I had the little red ship, the Explorer. We're the first to go 500 miles up the Amazon. So we've been first in many things, but also I think the biggest thing I did was open up offices in London and in the United States. This is before what we have today, emails. There's nothing. There was cablegrams in those days.
What would you describe as the factors that make Abercrombie and Kent stand out in the travel market?
It's perfection. You have to be perfect. You have to think of unusual things to do, and then you have to operate them in a flawless fashion with elegance and style. That's
fantastic answer. Now, you're now moving into real estate, and you've got all of this travel experience. Real estate, as you know, has been going through a difficult period in recent years because of the global economic condition. Why are you going into this market?
There's no perfect time, right? So you think it out, you work out what your plan is, you then hire what you think will be the top managing director to run it, in this case Rob Green, who understands what I want. And our business, for instance, is 24% up this year. And so I think this is a really good time to do it.
And are you going to use the Abercrombie and Kent travel brand to help mould and create an image and a status for the real estate side?
We have a luxury clientele who travels all over the world, and they see these exotic and have exotic experiences, be it in the Indian Ocean, be it in Asia, be it in North and South America. Also, Abercrombie Kent, we have 50 offices around the world, about 2,200 staff, at least that. But we own those offices, and they give you all the logistical support around it. So they're locating, understanding new things to do, and we have the clients who want that. Well, we can do that. We've had that. And actually, we've had a lot of this over the years. We just weren't able to process it.
Now, a lot of international estate agents would say that they too have got a network of offices, they've got experience in different parts of the world. What do you think will be different about Abercrombie and Kent?
We actually offer experience, lifestyle, and that's what our clients want. And also I think normal real estates aren't into providing the experience around it. So with us, again, if somebody buys a home, we can manage the home through our local offices. We have a villa division already that can come in and help them run that. Every one of these offices at Abercrombie Kent are owned by the Abercrombie Kent group of companies. They all work for me. So I think we're going to be very different from that perspective.
Okay. Now, what regions or specific countries of the world do you think you're going to be looking at least first, in terms of real estate?
Well, I think we're going to focus on, I think South America, I think is one of the key areas, and we know it well. I think the Indian Ocean. Then I think Asia. I think all over Asia. And of course, Europe and the UK. We're our own back door here.
Are you going to sell just in resorts, or are you going to sell one-off properties?
We're looking at properties that are going to be built. We're going to be looking at... A lot of these properties will come to us through our clients anyway. I think that's the beauty of this. We don't have to go out traditionally as some other real estate companies have to do.
How are you going to select individual properties? What can we look forward to you marketing?
It could be wealthy clients of ours who now like to sell their properties. But the key thing I've told Rob, they have to stand up to a 5-star level. We're not interested in anything other than that. They then have to stand up to having an experience around it. That actually this is different. You can arrange helicopter trips from this. We can arrange guides. You can go have cooking lessons. We do all this from our villas. We have already. I don't think we mentioned this before. We have a very large villa business. We've been in for years. And I think that the two, again, will interact, because somebody buying a home can then say, oh, you have a villa business, we'd like to rent that home when we're not using it.
Well, you've got this big office network, you've got some flagship stores. How are they going to be used to help market properties?
And what I'm particularly interested in now is getting into the new, they call it the brick country, but I want to add Middle East to that. So we're opening up 2 new flagship stores, one in Threadneedle Street, I think next month. I think they're all being trained next door right now. And I put my foot forward and said, I want one in Monaco where I live. And I'll be working every night to send people through the doors the next morning. So we'll have one in Monaco, 1 square mile, very wealthy people. After 1 year of this, work out the kinks. Then we'll go straight into Russia. We'll go straight to Sao Paulo in Brazil. And we're already just opening up and we'll open one in China too. So we'll be in all of these new emerging markets where the new money is, tailoring our product to fit the needs.
And you've already got a database of about 250,000 clients, I believe, from your holiday business. How are you going to use that?
Well, we already have at least 250,000 high net worth individual names, and we'll do it like we do everything. We're going to have a very good website. We already have a very glossy magazine which goes out on a quarterly basis, and that goes to 35,000 people. We then have another one called Escapology, which goes out to more people. I have my Chairman's Club, which is the A&K on steroids, and the very wealthy, discerning people, which I handle myself.
Most people half as successful as you would now have their feet up and would enjoy the rewards of your business. Why aren't you doing that?
Oh, I'm so driven by this company. I suppose from the very first day I formed the business, I'm totally driven by it. And I think what I want to do is make sure that Abercrombie Kent actually becomes more famous than Thomas Cook. That's what I want to do. A few more years to do it.
And I'm sure you'll do it. Geoffrey Kent, thanks very much.
Thanks a lot, Graham. Really enjoyed it. Thank you. You going to buy a house?